Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran. The pre-patch is going to be coming out very soon. But with the pre-patch, we'll also finally be able to play the brand new questing experience that Blizzard have sold for the expansion of Shadowlands. The revamp, not only for the latter levels, but also for the earlier levels together with the level squish. One of the things that Blizzard promised us with this questing experience is it will be faster than the current experience we have currently right now in BFA, even with all the heirlooms, as well as with the experience buff that has been in the game for quite a while now. So leveling is exciting for a lot of people, whether you want to level new classes to test out all the class changes or get some of the coveted allied race heritage armor that you might have not wanted to prior, with all the different conveniences that Blizzard is bringing with this expansion. But there has been some updates to the leveling that I think you should be aware of before the pre-patch is finally released. First things first, I guess we should all be kind of sorta happy that Blizzard did delay Shadowlands. I personally was a little bit sad hearing the news of the delay, mostly because I'm tired of corruptions and I'm really ready for the next new experience. And I didn't like corruptions in BFA so much, a broken product to me just seemed like a better idea in the moment. But we all know that a better, more wholesome, well-cooked expansion is what everybody really needs. And it turns out, as Blizzard is continuing to make iterations to the leveling aspect of Shadowlands, it turns out that certain zones in Shadowlands right now just don't reward enough experience, which is kind of odd. It looks like the zones of Ardenweald and Revendreth, with the recent changes, it turns out people are just unable to reach the level that they're supposed to end at by doing the main storyline as well as the side objectives. Now, a while ago, Blizzard did nerf the experience gain for all of Shadowlands 50 to 60 leveling, but they did also kind of shuffle around the 1 to 50 leveling. The 1 to 50 part was not really affected, but it turns out the endgame stuff was affected. Right now, Blizzard did implement a adjustment buff where you simply just gain extra experience in those zones to make sure that you get there, but it looks like they will have to readjust the numbers. Again, probably a good reason as to why they did delay it, otherwise we would have been coming out to the game and most likely would have had these issues available day one, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't have been happy about. But let's talk about the early leveling, and it looks like Blizzard made the early leveling of Shadowlands 1 to 50, where you get to choose whatever expansions you want. A lot of people found themselves unable to finish the quest lines of the zones. This is a good thing for a lot of you that want a fast leveling experience. It means that you will not have to finish the whole expansion and the full storyline before you can front yourself towards the Shadowlands. For some players, however, this was an issue because you are playing the expansion that you want to quest through, and maybe you've never played Legion, maybe you've never played Pandaria, and this will be the first time for you to really play through these expansions. And finally, you can now play it as if you were there on launch day, although it's in a very different format, but you can play through the storyline. You can see what happened, and maybe you want to finish the story to the end. Because at some point, World of Warcraft wasn't all about just hitting the max level as fast as possible, diving into M+, hitting raids on Mythic, grinding for Gladiator and PvP, just all the endgame stuff. It used to be part of the journey. The journey was the fun of it. And with all the new class changes, it might be the perfect time for players to have a brand new experience in WoW. Play through the storyline as it was designed, really go through it step by step, explore all the different class changes while you're at it, really learning your class as you go. So it's going to be a very wholesome experience altogether when it comes to playing an MMO. But being able to, well, being tossed out of the experience early, it's almost like watching a movie and then someone comes in, turns the lights on and say, everybody out, when you just got to the good part. So Blizzard added a way for you to disable experience gain while you're leveling through the lower zones. So you can finish out all those quest chains if you want to. You can see the story to the very end, and you can still continue exploring this world at a challenging difficulty for your level, because the world has a scale to you. Let's say you hit level 50, the world scaling ends, and let's say you were in BC zones. Normally BC zones would scale up to your level, but since it's a lower level zone when it comes to chronological aspect of the expansions, everything is now really easy. You can't really finish the quest in an appropriate fashion. You can't get the gear that gets you, it just ruins the whole experience. So of course Blizzard had to go and make some changes to it, and I think these are the good ones. I think it might be the expansion where players will actually care about playing through the zones again, because this will be a perfect opportunity without having to grind and slog through levels 1 all the way to 150, playing through every single expansion and really just trying to, as you see how many of them you gotta go through, skip through them, as many of them as possible. But here you can finally slow down, take your time with one expansion that you really enjoyed, really just let your mind explore it, like explore all the questing, all the zones, how it was supposed to go back in a day. Keep it kind of challenging more or less depending on the expansion of choice, and keep it a wholesome experience of questing in an MMO through a different questing measure that Blizzard has implemented in Shadowlands, which is a unique questing system. Maybe other games have done it, but it's definitely unique for World of Warcraft. I think this change was a really good one. However, if you're someone who doesn't really want to slow down and experience the expansion slowly, there is still also more information about which expansions might actually be the fastest to level through. This list wasn't done by speed levelers, so this isn't going to be the fastest potential thing ever. But with all the different amenities that we have had in the modern WoW that you can now bring into the old world, like Goblin Glider Pack for example, you really can skip a lot of the leveling experience as you're leveling through whatever expansion, if you are looking to do it as quickly as possible without necessarily going for cheesy things like having a party helping you mob tag enemies, or using certain dungeons or certain events within the world like bonus objectives in order to grind some insane absurd amount of XP. Just playing from start of the expansion to the end, which ones are going to be the fastest so far. In the list we have Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King hitting the 24-hour mark. That's an approximate number. Some of you guys that played Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade might remember the quests and where to go, and you'll be able to get through it way quicker. But BC and Wrath were still designed with a very classic WoW theme in mind. You gotta go a long ways for quests, and when you pick up a quest you have to go slay a bunch of enemies, go back to the quest guy, he'll tell you go back to that zone and grab some other items, and back and forth and back and forth. So with the back and forth and a lot more travel distance that was designed originally for BC and Wrath, a lot of that time questing actually comes down to you just traveling a long way back and forth. So it's not really that the quests are taking forever or the mobs are super giga difficult. It's mostly that there's a lot of traveling involved for those expansions because of the times that they were designed. Then going into more recent expansions with Cataclysm trying to start to simplify things, you only shave off by an average 4 hours. Mists of Pandaria and Battle for Azeroth get a little bit quicker, even though BFA I guess is a bit chock full of quests, and I would really go down to BFA being more of this RP element of just standing there waiting for allies to kind of express to you, give you a little bit of dialogue and stuff. Legion and Warlords of Draenor, however, end up being one of the fastest expansions, with WoD being literally the quickest. I would guess WoD mostly with the bonus objectives, the variety of treasures, and the rares, which Legion and BFA both have plenty of those, but I never felt like BFA you could do a treasure hunt, and Legion was pretty cool with the rares and treasures. It did give a bit of XP, but Warlords of Draenor treasure leveling experience back in the day was the tip of the fastest leveling, the most relaxing you could do. Probably the best thing that came out of WoD anyway, so most likely that's why it maintains the fastest time, which for some of you guys that want to level quickly, that might give you an opportunity to pick which expansion you might want to play through. I'm probably going to end up playing through the story myself. Maybe I'll do Warlords of Draenor, just treasure farming experience all over again. I think it'd be kind of cool to dive into every single expansion and re-explore them all over again. But which expansion do you think you're going to hit up first when the patch leveling begins? Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about some of the leveling changes that have happened, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.